Alright, let's get going. Hello everyone. We are back with what I initially wanted to do with this channel and doing gameplay reviews. So we're gonna test that out for the first time today. Gonna do it the lazy way and just record over another recording and just talk it over, probably doing it 400% speed or something, and just talk over the game and probably fast forward on bits and pieces that are slow. So without further ado, let's get into it. I minimize myself down in the corner here to not disrupt the game or anything. And now let's go through the list a little bit quickly. On the one side, we do have Skaven in the hands of William. He runs Warp Code Communication and a 2-drop with the Skaven lores. As general, he got Wizix. And in his regiment, we do have a reinforced clan rat, reinforced doomflayers, and a plague pack. Love that setup because like you have the option of either going for bodyguard with the plague pack or doing special assignment on the doomflayers. Maybe prior target in some niche cases, but most of the time it will be that extra rend, right? And the second regiment here is Grazier on Screaming Bell. He's got Skaven Brew and Short Tempered, so got plus running charge there and extra attack. Super nice. He brings with him a unit of Clan Rat and a reinforced Rattling Guns. It's pretty good costly list. I think this is how most game lists will look going forwards, with a melee-centric core, and then you have some supportive Rattling Guns. This is pre-Battle Scroll though, so like you got a little bit more pricey V6, a little bit cheaper Rattling Guns, can still redeploy covering fire and all that fun stuff. Also, like the Screaming Bell is probably a lot better now when it has the 13-inch aura instead of Hollow Within 6, right? Anywho, that's the Skaven list. Over to Micha's Sylvaneth. He runs them in Outcast, so got that minus control score as long as it's engaging some. Runs it a 3-drop, so William will be choosing who goes first here. And Micha runs Aetherworth machineries to protect Alariel with the cogs mainly. I don't think Haste Sylvaneth makes the best use of the other spells in that lore, but cogs is really nice. Since both her and Durther can be a spellcaster in this, depending on his positioning. We'll get to that soon though. In Alaria's regiment, we have Current Hunters with great bows, so essentially their option here is bodyguard. And being pre-battle scroll, the bodyguard is a bit more effective since Alaria can still charge in and still have them within 6 and be useful. Other than that, we got Balthanos with 2 custom archer units. And then the last regiment, a Spirited Durther with the Spellsinger and Seed of Rebirth. So it'll be a little bit annoying being able to be brought back and stuff. Let's lock that in place and let's put on play here to see what to do with the deployment. Scenario we'll be running is limited resources. So they already started deploying. Micha put his forces down here, which I suppose is solid. I like having at least one defensive forest with Sylvaneth. Here, like you have Balthanos, who will probably make the forest up on his deployment zone into a place of power. We zoom in the clock for some reason to just show that it's going, and as you see, we have sped it up quite a bit because time ain't running that fast. William deploys quite solidly here. I like the idea of putting like the castle around the forest. Having a big piece such as Wizix protected from Coronat bows is probably a good idea for the first turns, at least, before lines clash. So yeah, looks like pretty much the whole castle there. We can fast forward a little bit to see, and need to talk over the whole deployment essentially. But as you see, the castle will go down on the one side. We have Durther on the other side in the Oikan Wildwood, Balthanos up beside the forest on the opposite side. And some Gossamedes to screen off any first turn charges, essentially. Them being able to cover in fire and move again, also like have a viable threat on that objective zone if Micha wants to like prevent the 1-2 more. Or you can't prevent the 1-2, but maybe the more. Since it looks like he'll deploy on one of its own as well. Also Dirter, like, not super fan that he peeks his head out the forest there, because that might eat up a redeploy instead of doing, like, then you're forced to do the redeploy and covering fire on the other guys to move them. Probably not that bad of idea, but I see no reason for Dirter being. Maybe he's actually towing the objective there. So unless I don't like that either though. I need to ask Micha about this later, because either is towing the objective and then he'll keep milking both of us on the first turn, or he's not, and then he's just a little bit outside the forest. Not a huge fan of that either. Now let's see if William measuring out where he could put the no holes in, like, if you want to go first or not. And here he chooses let's go first. Could not fit it on the side like closer to the clock, so he chooses to put it there. And looks like he's going for the Gazamids the first turn there, at least. Because, yeah, Rattling Guns ended up in the underground, so he can just pop him out wherever he wants, near no hole. We got some spellcasting going here with the manifestations. Willem tries to get out. Micha, like, he fails the clock, but gets the Vermintide off. We'll be placing it at a pretty defensive position here. I know. Just stacking up some prayer points there on B6. We're good. We got move. I don't think we have that much important things happening here in the hero phase. Like, he's stacking up his buffs. Micha will get the opportunity to countercast, and that's a little bit what I'm waiting for, because he'll intervene with the forest. First here, measuring out if he can do something with that no hole. Since like it does have the pendulum, so putting it out there could disrupt stuff, but I think he realizes he can't disrupt enough. So chooses to go for a forest there, central table. I'm not a fan of this, honestly, after thinking through, because that kind of gives a Springmore. That would have been a solid position, just up by the clock. That would have been so good. But yeah, goes for it in the central there. Kinda not a big fan of it, especially in the early turns, because that just gives a springboard for clan rats to charge or get further up the field. Or at least have access to like the top side of the table here, because it's kind of locked out from there otherwise. William rolls the random movement for those dwarf players. See if he can get somewhere close to the forest, but with a 3 or something, I think it was, he just decides to port them instead with a hole. So sets them up for a charge, either on the Gossamids there or on the forest. So it looks like a 9 to the Gossamids, 10 to a forest. It's not totally unreasonable charges. Also, like, Rattling Guns comes out. So now we got the whole army on the table after this from Willem. It's kind of interesting, these two armies, because how to beat them is kind of similar. It's essentially like the best way is to control their terrain pieces, because Sylvaneth loses so much mobility if you control their forests. So putting it here central is kind of dangerous. Like, he still has one in the bag, right? Since that he can use later, which is fine. But I'm not too fond of that one. As I said before. Also here, William just moving up his castle. Can fast forward a little bit so we can skip like the movement there. V6 going a little bit further forward than I'd be comfortable with. Keeping him like at the edge of that forest that he was in is probably a better choice, and like having the rest of the castle a little bit further back as well. But I suppose like putting up a threat is also an idea here. And yeah, the other clan unit goes for that forest. As long as they take it over, like there's not like the Sylvaneth army doesn't do that big lot of wounds each turn. Kind of need to grind them down, or set their whole army into it, and that's just not viable, right? Boom, 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 boom. Now we're down to rolling rattling gunshots. And William here elected to shoot into the forest instead of the Gossamids. I think that's the correct choice. Since if he removes that wildwood, Durther won't be a wizard anymore. So it forces Alaria to either put wildwood close to Durther or just ignore that he's a wizard for this turn. Also ends up in him kind of stuck there without a forest. Let's fast forward a little bit. Yeah, as you see, the Rattling cleared out the forest. The Warp gang made their charges, and the other clanrats charged into Micha's central forest there. This do look a little bit dangerous though, to me, since William will be taking over 3 scenario pieces in the first turn, unlimited resources. That is super dangerous, because if your opponent just leaves you alone and then gives you the double, you're in a rather bad spot, since you are effectively can't take them over or use them for the rest of the game. So all Micha have to do then is like basically control the hole where William can put the no holes on the top side of the table here, and just look, you got pretty good choke point there with the two central terrain pieces to not let the Skaven army through, if you'd like. Yeah, here we got a lot of dice rolls into the forest. Also Micha here not electing to countercharge because he knows like William will take these 4. Can't really countercharge where the Gossamids were and not take over that terrain or scenario piece down with the Dirter. I think it's very good to like not countercharge there and just sacrifice your Gossamids. Here I try to get Dirter the fuck out of dodge and just leave the Skaven army alone for this turn. Just move to the top side of the table, try to screen it off, go into the top clanrat unit and remove that one as much as you can. Between the bows, Belthanos and Alariel, I think you should be able to do it. Micha's turn. Chooses Do Not Waver as a tactic. Puts out that forest we talked about that William removed. Now Dirter can cast spells again. Happy fun times. Looks like we are doing some kind of horde clear spell there. Yep, removes a couple crown rats, also solid. Like thus far, looks really nice. Just put out that cogs we talked about earlier as well to keep the -1 to hit against the Alariel. Boom, 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 boom. And some rend on the central forest there. William, she thinks about what he gonna claw step here, and if he's gonna countercast anything. Ends up claw stepping the hamster wheels, or doom flares, if we wanna call them what they're actually named. I think it's lame, so rather have them as hamster wheels. Can we coin that for now, please? So yeah, brings back the hamster wheels to protect V6. I don't think the rattling guns are in a kind of offensive position, but also kind of safe at the same time. Because Micha don't really have anything that that can soak a covering fire here, like Gossamid's central table there possibly, but they like then Dirter needs to move up towards the center. So yeah, I think just backing off here, leaving it alone would be the correct choice. Yeah, and that logo is Asylum Wargaming, who did the video stream here and let me use their content. Super great guy, Jesper. And this is like the Kota semifinals, their league thing that we are commenting on. And here we got like the opposite of what I wanted to do. We're engaging full frontal engagement on the Skaven army, which like we do not waver. You don't want Dirther to take those covering fires, and you don't want the Gossamids to take the covering fire either. I think you're forced to take him with Dirter, because Gossamids most likely just dies and you lose the tactic. Dirther will at least survive. Like it might take 8 to 9 damage, I think, with all of defense. Also have the to see the rebirth, so another safety pin there. Move down the Kernot bows as well to the forest with their forest shenanigans tricks. Shooting with 6 here. Yeah, like no, sorry, it was shooting the wheels, hamster wheels with the Gossamids, moving them forwards, checking what will take the covering fire, because I realized, oops, I will fail my tactic if I do this. So it's a little bit of a pinch now, Micha. There. Mission out if Valariel can shoot them. First shot and stuff. Yeah. Now we got those bonus into physics. I think when you know what's happening in advance, but not quite the sequencing of all, then yeah. Then we got logo again. William does choose to do covering fire into Dirter. Be careful with timeskip here. There we are. Can't really reliably timeskip here. It's like just over 3-hour game that I've cut down to 45 minutes. So my time skipping will probably be a little bit too large when I just want to skip like 20-second, 1 minute of dice rolls. Well, we're into the charge phase at least. So Balthana charges in there, Alariel goes for charge as well, stays just outside the 3 of B6 to not get targeted by his monster's action, or rampage it's called now. Rolls for Dirter, considers it. He took 11 damage from the rattling guns here, so it's just a 3 left. So it's really dicey to like charging him in here. Also will be ending in within 3 of V6, so possibly just a Titan King V6 with -1 to hit, -1 to wound, which would be kind of sad. Also -2 attacks on that, so eesh. Or -1 since he doesn't have the prayer. Yeah, and like Bathanos and Alara will sort out the tactic for Micha, so no need to charge him in really. Alariel here goes into V6 combat range to try to kill him. I think it's like attacking like this with 2 units in for Sylvaneth is like perfect. You can power through with the one and strike and fade with the other. So you'll end up like not being in that exposed position. Micha has exposed himself quite a lot here, like on the bottom half. Because if William gets the turn after this, even with Alariel and Balthanos in a safe space, like Micha will lose both, will lose Dirther and those Gossamids to what's left of the Skaven army. do like have played the scenario very much for giving away a double, since it left like William to have control over these three bottom pieces. Just just controlling to himself. So like scenario play on point, positioning a little bit to left to one thing there, I suppose. A lot of dice rollings, but we can't really skip forward again. So while I have nothing to really talk about, I could ask you to like and subscribe and all that YouTubers do, right? So please do that. It's just not. Also, like if you have any requests for content or like game footage you'd like reviewed in this type of manner, please send them to me. I'd love to do more of these, even if they are. I need to get better at cutting up videos to have like not these segments where I need to fail with other stuff. Sure, it's good to get like but even. So you attack a little bit back and forth. The important thing is V6 died. Micha trimmed down some clan rats with Baldanos. Here I think he makes a little. I'm a pause it there. I think he makes a little bit of position error. He have made like this forest and awaken wildwood with Balthanos, but he could position Balthanos on that objective that he stands on, but like with his butt sticking out enough to block off a no hole, just where the clock is, or roughly where the clock is, because what he needs to do here is like block off that side of the table for William now that he has like will have emptied out his scenario piece there on the bottom part of the table. So as long as like he can't put no holes up there, then Micha should have this game in the bag, just not letting him get to the top side here of the table. So a little bit like just turning the base and moving it 2 inches back would block out the no hole that William would be able to put there. There, Micha scores hole 1, hole 2. Do not waver for 8 point against William's 10. First turn. Prior roll might be made here. Yeah. Either way, I can spoil it and say that Micha won the prio, and now that fell in, Micha won prio, elects to take the double since his position in screams I want to take the double, while scenario plays does the opposite. But I think with him losing that much on not taking that prio, I think he's kind of forced himself to do take the turn. Otherwise, he'd be left with Belthanos and Dirter. I don't know, Belthanos and Alariel, and that is a rough position, even with the scenario control that he has in the late game. I'm gonna play it here. And now Micha succeeded in casting Awaken Wildwood and puts the forest where I wanted it the first turn, because that blocks out any central no hole on that side. Now William only have on the board edges essentially in the corners to put his no holes. It's skipping the relevant places for it. Other relevant places would be behind Alariel at the moment, and I suppose 9 inch above his other no hole is also a spot for it, probably. William close step ahead, the rattling guns to bring them out of Kuranov bow range. Also a little bit more safer position from Dirter, who might wanna go and make mush of them in melee. So like the Sylvaneth, we're not gonna like not talk about the damage that Sylvaneth army can put on the Skaven army here either, because like the double is still a scary thing, even if I scenario-wise think it's the incorrect choice. You probably will remove the majority of the Skaven here. So William will be left with scraps. And if he doesn't get the double bag, then it's probably over. Micha will be able to like control the no holes as long as he keeps the prio here, which is like one thing to think about into Skaven. Like having the prio into them is kind of nice, since they will put up a no hole at the start of the battle round, and you can then kill it before they put a unit there at the end of the turn, even recurring or in the hero phase, like use them to teleport, right? Because like with how large they are and how limited they are of where they are allowed to be placed, you are a little bit more in control of where they put them than if you play against Sylvaneth that are free to put their force wherever it feels like. And William also redeploys his rattling guns, seems like. Micha like done what it's supposed to do here, I think. Go aggressive, try to eliminate as many as Skaven as possible. If possible here, I would like to like not take over the central scenario bit here either. To have like William be prevented from just scoring on this side of the table. Boom, 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 boom. We doing some shooting. Putting some moon into the bell, I think, with the bows, since like making use of that anti-hero stuff they got going. Here, like from Misha's side, I just clear off the no hole as well in the center to really make it hard for William to get on the top of the side of the table. I missed like saying that like half unit Gossamids came back from Alariel there, top side. You might have caught it on video, but I was busy doing another thing. Shooting. Now, yeah, trying to see if Alariel can fit in between the clarets there to just clear as many clarets as possible, right? Taune commits in so that he can attack both the no-hole and the clarets. Dirther goes in as well. It's nice to like not have to bother about the tactic here from Micha, I think, because that would be a whole mess. Probably like it's Sylvaneth, so they can take a land or something, I suppose, without issue. Not as low as Skaven, but still. Because that's like a little bit of the issue for Sylvaneth, I think, is the tactic. The turn, like they cannot do unit waiver, but need to go in and commit. Not having easy access to like attack on two fronts or something like that is a little bit troublesome when you have to choose a tactic as well. And here Dirter moves in to finish off the Screaming Bell. I think Micha is doing a good job controlling what William can bring back, since thus far he has only killed characters and focused down the hamster wheels that are War Machine and cannot be brought back either. So William doesn't get any use of his recursion for the first 2 turns at least. See, skip forward from combat because it's just a fuckload of dice rolls. We are still in combat, probably, yeah. Into those clarets. And like, I'm not super fan that the hamster wheels get left alone, because they're like the only thing other than rattling guns that do damage here. So maybe focusing more on them, less on the clan rats for now. Would have been a thing. I guess like clan rats can do pretty good damage as well, as long as you have the plague bag there bringing them crit mortals. But that's still like a prayer away, which isn't always that easy. Fast forward a little bit. Now we're at the end of the combat phase, with Micha removing some bows. Then I'm trying to figure out who scored this scenario, I suppose. Yeah, Durther hasn't struck in yet either. Bum, 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 bum. Let's see. It's like 30 seconds ahead. Yeah. So let's pause and go through what happened. Durther removed the no-hole and a bunch of clan rats. Used Strike and Fade to return on this other side of the board. Alariel managed to kill her and the bows managed to kill enough clan rats so that she isn't engaged anymore and thus can't power through, so she's kind of stuck there, which is a little bit dangerous in rattling gun range and all. Belthanos did take like 4 or 5 damage-ish, I think, so it's also like within range of being shot down by rattling guns here. Not super fan that Micha is like getting so close to William's army here, or rattling guns. Because rattling guns they are stuck there, honestly. I suppose like you can't do much about Alariel, but she'll be at full health from her like regen in the hero phase, and then having a 3-up save against the rattling guns when she hold out defense, so she should survive. And Bonoth, I think, is what you sacrifice here, I suppose, because they are engaged with the. No, not a fan of that. Should probably not even. Yeah, I think it's alright to leave them because he needs to feed something to the rattling guns here. And he'd rather feed the Bonoth than the Alariel. The Bonoth also like keep the hamster wheels and the clan rat unit engaged here. William is able to just bring back enough to keep the scenario still, even with Outcast being a thing for Micha. So it will be like a low scoring turn, but make sure William is kind of on the back foot here. It does feed him things in unnecessarily though. But Thanos could be on the like top side of the table here and just shelling. Yeah, there puts back the Skaven model in on the scenario piece. Yeah, it's probably the correct choice because he'll need to take it over in his turn no matter what. So rather have Micha scoring 4 than 6. Well, this means like Micha have milk out the two of them snare pieces on the top side of the table. So as long as William just gets a dude on them and takes it over, he's certain to like at least score 2 points each turn, right? So here like what would save him having these few pieces like a Skaven double is can be quite deadly, both scenario wise and like killer models. Because here I think like bow knots are kind of smoked from those rattling guns. between that and attack. And yeah, William thinks so as well, since he has chosen to do Slay the Entourage on them. So they are the target of the turn. I'm gonna try fast forward a little bit here, because Rattling Gun's been a bore. Yeah, Micha removes all but one Bonoth there, and that one Bonoth standing in base with Alariel when Slay the Entourage is selected means that William has to sacrifice something to kill it, right? It's just left on one wound, so like an impact hit from those hamster wheels will do it. Not a fan how he brought down the Claret unit that was attacking the forest. I think he should move that towards the top side of the table. He doesn't need to take over the scenario this turn, since he like controls 3 pieces already, but being ready to block up off the top forest, honestly, is probably a really good thing here. Since that would prevent either Alara from bringing back dirt to there, or doing Strike and Fade to there, and then give William the access to the top side of the table that he needs here. Let's continue the video. Boom, boom. Yeah, measuring out the hamster wheels. Boom. Charges in, kills it on the impact. Tactic done, and pretty much, yeah, charges in the Clarets into the forest as well there. Leaves the rest alone as he should, and just hope that Alariel kills those hamster wheels, because otherwise he gets to Strike and Fade and move, which would be kind of bad, even having one Doom or hamster wheel left. To do. And yeah, spoiler alert, she does indeed kill them. Let's try to fast forward a bit. Yeah, William piles up into the forest a little bit with these dudes, Clarets. Gather all them dices. Oh, yeah. Kills the central forest finally, after like 2 turns of being in combat with it. Or three combat rounds, I think. They here is like end turn, so think here if I think William needs the prio here. Because if he don't get the prio, he will not ever score the main scenario. As if he puts out like a no-hole, Micha can just close it off with his Gosamids, or if he brings back the Dortur, it's really looking awful. With William only having like 2 Clannad units, 1 barely alive, and Plague Pack and the Rattling Gun team, which is, yeah, the pieces he can bring back also, so looks kind of rough at the moment, foresight-wise. But if he does get the turn like here, he can probably shoot Balthanos off the table at least. Go cap that central scenario with his big Skaven unit. Claras is what you call. Block off the forest as well, which is really important since that's the mobility Micha got. Probably both the big forest and the Balthanos made forest could be blocked off quite significantly at least. So double turn here is big. And yeah, William do get the double turn. Can put out that no-hole, which gives him access to the top side of the table and can make use out of it. Like sacking a tactic for that is probably worth it on its own. And then on top of it, he gets like to do the attrition work here. Also doesn't have to choose a tactic, so there's that. Say we got like 10 minutes of yeah, that will be just short of an hour, I suppose. If we continue with the full thing. Yeah, was like not a bad idea to move up at least the Clarets there, because He can charge into the forest, blocking off any recursion, really, from Alarielle next turn. In that way, like, sure, she will get a chance to cast a forest, I suppose. But that's, yeah, hard to block off though. Torture, yeah, redeploys away, try to get away from those rattling guns, but doesn't quite make it. So they will shoot him. We can hope for a little bit, because they do not quite kill him. He has 9 wounds left at the moment, or 11, I don't remember. And he's shot down to having 1 wound left after this. Which entices William to charge with those clan rats into him. Here choosing to charge into the forest instead of Belthanos to not have him do his monstrous action. Same with this plague pack, kind of sacrificing it to Alarielle and having them stay just outside the 3 of Belthanos. A little bit dangerous because he can counter charge now, and as Micha is measuring out here, with the monster's action, get to those rattling guns. That being said, he's on 1 wound and has the plague pack that will strike him before he gets to act. And yeah, they successfully removes him. Alarielle piles up a little bit and removes the plague pack, which is, I think, at this point kind of good, because now William can always do recursion, or kind of need to do recursion, so I kind of needed them to die here, so that he gets a unit back. Otherwise, he wouldn't have anything to return, since the Claras is still alive, both of them, right? Which also, like, makes sense that he charged it into Alarielle then. And yeah, they show up, claim that objective on the top side. So William successfully scores 1-2 more here, but doesn't get a tactic. So it looks really good, like, points-wise for William here. Sure, Micha has turn left here to score back on. And yeah, managed to put up that central forest again, so he's able to, like, roll his 4 up at least, or a forest down there, I suppose. Yeah, at least gets to roll the 4 up, since he can stay outside range of those rattling guns and still bring, you know, like, get a dude in there. But of course, William having the claw steps ahead, make sure he can't bring a unit back with Alarielle. I suppose, like, on the top side there should be a little bit of space to bring one back, since that unit hasn't fully gone into the forest. Micha rolls the recursion and fails it, so yeah. Would probably have been game if he succeeded, honestly, because having a Dirther up there to clear up those clan rats would be solid. Shoot something and play back with Gossamids. Alara go into the rattling guns and clear them up as she should. And now with, yeah, Skaven army here is really demised. Like, just two Clara's units left at this point. Like, the plague bag is up there, but about to die from the Gossamid. Essentially next turn, so Micha did, like, take over the scenario piece again, so which was the important part for him, since he chose attack on 2 fronts this turn. Looks like, yeah, William won the priority role here, so gets to take a turn, which I think kinda seals the game in his favor, as he has, like, the 1 clan rat's blocking the forest down there on the right side, one clan rat on the top forest, blocking recursion there from Alariel. So the only option is to bring something back on the bottom side of the table, where he just isn't. So I think it's pretty much over without the players knowing it, I suppose. Like the difference here is only 4 points, but where the pieces are on the table, it's rough. Especially since like Micha can't retake the central scenario there, so William can just leave it. Also, like having a unit brought back at the end of turn here, make sure he can't. On a scenario Micha can't retake, so he'll at least score 1-2 more this turn as well, and 1-2 on the last turn at the very least. Also, he did take the land the first turn, so he doesn't have a 3 tactic left, at least. But yeah, covering fire off the plague pack and move the other ones into like, well, does kind of fail the charge, but uses the forest to like stay within one of something so that he can like pile into the scenario. Yeah. Micha redeploys. I was a little bit ahead of the video again, but yeah, nothing major happened here, I suppose. I don't quite get why William charged those clarets in there, but I suppose wanted them to bring back a full unit or something, or half a unit with the Skaven rules. But William just needs to take that over, which he does. He brings back a D3 at the end of turn, and anyway, so we'll have like 1-2 more here, bringing him to 36 into turn on Micha got turn 4 and turn 5 to score ahead and onwards on that, which will be real troublesome when he really can't retake 2 of those scenarios. And so William will be at least at 40, which like doing 2 10-point turns sure will be enough, but then William need to like fail on the tactic, I suppose, and I don't see Micha having tactics enough to do here. Like he can take the flanks, but that puts him in a kind of awful position. I think there might be play if he brings Belthanos back and Alariel can just run and charge to clear stuff up. Still won't be able to like take those two pieces that William has there, but could prevent like the top left there, I suppose. Also just clearing the clan rats and holds that William doesn't have a tactic for the last turn. Might have not even then, because that means Micha won't have tactics either. So it's I might just pause it there because it's over, and it's a Skaven victory here, which I really didn't think would happen after the first turn, but like a little bit of let's say misplays on turn 1 and turn 2 from the Sylvaneth open up the game again for Skaven here, so they ended up taking home the semifinals. I think like playing into both these armies, it's as I said previously about controlling their terrain piece more than anything, to like make them play a fair game, right? Well, I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm not gonna talk for too much longer. Just gonna say thank you for watching if you got this far, and if you have like any content ideas for me, I'm happy to hear them. Probably making some kind of army build ID thingy for some faction after New Year's. I myself is between playing Dark Oath, Dorch Kane, Night Haunt, and City of Sigmar at the moment, so I'm building a list for those four mainly. Been doing a little bit of FEC, but then probably will once the tournament starts next year. Also, scenes is worth to explore a little bit more, even if I think they are a little bit boring now with being figured out. But I like, yeah, probably another build that can be made. Who knows? Anywho, thank you for watching. See you around.